Crypto, is that a good idea right now with that, with that extra cash, extra money that came in? We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you what most people don't realize, and the difference is becoming a millionaire this year rather than like waiting till something happens. We'll see. Watch this. This is really important. Share out there and get other people in here. We're getting started right now. How you guys doing? We are talking about cryptocurrency using your stimulus check to buy crypto. Is that a good idea? We're going to look at that. Let's examine it. Let's be real, okay? So we're going to talk some facts. We're going to see the charts in a minute. And I'm going to share with you a simple analysis you can do, and you can see for yourself what is reasonable. Take out anything fantastical from the equation. You stick with realities, and you could be a millionaire this year. So think about that. And that's, we're not talking about crypto. You got to use your head. Okay, so I'm going to show you, and I'm going to talk to you what a lot of people who own crypto are doing. They're doing this. They're not telling you, of course. It's a little secret. I'm going to tell you what that secret is, and you're going to learn a thing or two today on this program. So let's get started. There's certain cryptocurrencies, obviously, everyone's talking about. Everyone's talking about Bitcoin, BTC. We're going to examine Bitcoin. We're going to look at XRP, another coin that's very common, although a lot of people are leaving it in a hurry. And some other things, other coins in cryptocurrency. But what we're looking for particularly is the idea, you take this extra money that you just got from the government, and you got a nice $1,200 now. That's a pretty nice little chunk of a full Bitcoin. So it's really tempting to put it in, especially people who are just $1,000 away from having a full Bitcoin. So of course the temptation to get that full coin finally is right there, right at hand. Okay, but I'm going to show you why that's not necessarily a great idea. So watch this as we get started today. Let me just make sure everybody's shared out here. Everything is ready to go. And let's get into our chart. I just need to bring that chart out here. So give me a second. A segundo, as we say in Espanol. And here we go. Let's go into Coin Market. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's the screen. So I'm going to go there. Just give this thing a second or two here. One moment. I'm going to have to correct what you're not seeing on screen. So just let me get that just a second, just to see if we can get that to start working there. I know they did an update recently, so yeah, so that goes in there, and I'm gonna have to give you guys a display here. Let's see if this one comes out here. So it's up here, and yeah, that should work fine. One moment, sorry about that. Right, so they recently did a display, an update And I'm just trying to get that update to show up on your screen. So here it is. This should be good for everyone. Thank you for being patient during that technical little snafu there. Okay, so here we are at CoinMarketCap. This is a website, shows all of the cryptos basically out there, and it gives you a quick overview of how the Bitcoin and other coins are doing right now. This is listed normally or by default according to market cap, is market capitalization. For those of you who are unaware what market cap means, it means how much money is in the coin in the world. So it's a world, a global. Sorry about that. Let me just get some air going happening here for me here. It's a global accounting of how much money is exactly in the space. I did something here to make it easier for me to get this switch on the air. So, but as you can see, it's not that easy. Okay, so now that I got the hurricane working here, we're good. All right, so here we have Bitcoin on your screen, and you see that the market capitalization, how much capital is in this coin, is way up in the high. It looks like it's the billions area, 130 billion, 220 million, 4,819. If I'm not incorrect, that's how much money is there. And you see it far outweighs Ethereum, which is ranked number 2 according to how much money is in there. And again, that's at 18 billion. We have 8 billion in XRP, the number 3. Those of you who don't know XRP, if you've gone to Walmart and made a money order or transmitted funds, usually it would go. It's using a MoneyGram. You heard the name MoneyGram, and that is using XRP. So that you know that that's actually something that I believe a lot more of you are using XRP without even knowing that you're using it in transactions you do at Walmart, by the way. Um, then everyone else would be, depending on what you're doing, you may be using something that's Ethereum related. And unless you're using Bitcoin, you don't really have any Bitcoin usage unbeknownst to you. So that's basically what's going on. And with this, I'm giving a brief summary, basically, in the usage and the exposure that these coins have in your daily life. Most of you seeing this video right now, most of you would be uh, actually using XRP without knowing it. Also, I did another test of the voice recording or transcribing app. Anyway, those of you who are following me on that little detail, I saw a video on YouTube about the Google keyboard, G keyboard on your Android App Store, which makes the microphone show up on your keyboard on the phone. So I put the memo program, and now it is, and I hit the button when you heard that beep. It hits the record button and it's transcribing actually everything I'm saying. It's doing pretty good job. Hopefully it'll stay on throughout this broadcast, and if that's so, that's free. While the other text to speech things on your phone want to charge you, even though it's a little bit, there's an app that I'm using that only wants to charge like $10 for lifetime. But if Google does this for free forever, you know, that's the way to go, right? All right, so we'll give that the test. So that's on, that's running right now. Very good. So as you can see, so basically, I've given you between the first 3 coins, basically XRP is something that most of you are using without knowing you're using it. And the others, unless you own them, or are working with a platform or a DApp, which is a decentralized application, on based on the Ethereum coin itself, a blockchain, then you don't know anything about that and wouldn't be using it. There are many of the coins you see, many of these coins coming down here, they are based on Ethereum. So basically, Ethereum's claim to fame is actually all of these other market coinage out here, because most of them are using ERC20, which is based on Ethereum blockchain. Okay, so that's what's happening most of these other coins. That gives bragging rights, and I guess a right to some valuation for Ethereum, which makes it number two. Again, Bitcoin is standing by itself, really, being having its history, its preeminence, and its primary. Bitcoin was the first thing that you heard about ever. It was the first thing to come online, and people started talking about it, and everything else happened after Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is pretty much the grandfather. It is the first one, and the one that really has its rightful claim as a speculative coin. So basically, even though up to I guess 2 years ago or so, there were a lot of people promoting it as a usage, a coin of utility, in terms of that, people are going to be able to do this and do that with Bitcoin, and buy this and buy that with Bitcoin as a currency. But in reality, that didn't pan out more than the speculation of on its value. So there's a lot, even though you can see a lot of videos online, especially the bullish people invested in BTC. They're always going to be trying to, they're the ones who said that before. Now they've dumped that idea. And even though some of them are blatant and others are not so blatant, but really all there is hype and the desire for it to explode or to go to the moon. And obviously that's what people are waiting for. With this latest corona thing, it was expected that it was a good chance that if ever BTC would prove its viability, it would have been done with an emergency and a practical collapse that we had on the economy worldwide. Yet Bitcoin didn't show that. Eh. So again, um, the question is, when, if ever, is this Bitcoin ever going to pop up? But let's continue looking here. We have other things like Tether's a stable coin. There's a lot of things in the news about stable coins. There's nothing fancy about these stable coins. The fact that they're stable. In other words, you're exchanging a dollar per dollar. It pretty much stays around the dollar. It's a way to kill your money twice. So you have it dead in a savings account somewhere, not doing anything, not earning interest. Then you buy Tether, and basically it does nothing. Also, there, it doesn't go up, it doesn't go down, very slightly, but it's so minute. The whole point of the stable coin is for it to be stable. Again, so it makes it the why. What's one of the uses for the stable coin is to transition from fiat, which is your cash money, into the digital world through Tether, and then that way at least you have it dollar per dollar, more or less dollar per dollar. And before you go and put it into BTC, Bitcoin, or to buy Ethereum, or to buy something else in the crypto world, using your Tether makes it easier, because most of the other coins they have a pairing for the Tether, which means that you can trade easily between them and Tether, stuff like that. So it's a way to Tether is a digital replacement or portal for your cash, for your fiat money from the real world. Okay, so that's what that is. In the news of late, I'm sure you guys in crypto know this, but other people who are new to this, they don't know about this. There are countries like China and others like the United States as well. They are talking about developing digital coin, something like Tether, US dollar actually as a currency, as a digital currency. So they're talking about that. Tether does not belong to the United States. It is not the US dollar. It just facilitates the US dollar. But there's a increasing antagonism against stable coins because the governments want to establish their own digital version of their monies, and they need to take that space. That stable coin space is really the space that they want to develop their coins in. So that's what's going to be happening. That's going to be the news really in the next couple of months through the next year or so. So expect to hear a lot on that. Okay, so you got all these other coins here as well. I mean, they go less and less in terms of how much money is put into them. There are pros and cons into all of these. There are reasons that people will tell you about this coin and that coin. All of these coins have videos on YouTube, where you can go and see analysis or see people commenting about the development of these coins. You can see their owners or their developers, their founders talking about the coin and other people reviewing the coins, their viability, their sustainability, their future outlook on this. And before I go any further, I want to also state that I'm not providing any financial advice here, by the way. Everyone, each and every one of you, you need to do your own research. You need to advise your own lawyers, your own accountant about any financial decision at all. I'm only talking about my perspective and what I see in these markets as a source of content and a basis for my commentary. Okay, so that's all. For actual financial advice, you really need to seek out the advice of a registered financial advisor, an accountant, or your lawyers. They're the ones that are certified and are able to give you proper guidance in terms of where you should invest your monies. Okay, so you're looking for investment, that's what you need to realize. I'm only providing content, entertainment, otherwise, and that's that. Okay, all right, so basically, you have these things here. There are some interesting projects throughout these coins that you should be knowledgeable of. Any person, even when you're not investing in any of these coins, you should look into these coins as a matter of education, so that you can understand how the world is actually developing. If you're ignorant about crypto, realize that the world is developing and changing, and you know nothing about it. It's flying under your radar. Most of these coins are representing edge of technology type of programs and efforts, initiatives, forward technology that is breaking new territory, breaking new ground, and advancing the human race, quite possibly, into a new era of technological advances in many areas, including your health, dentistry, things of education, business, personal investments, and all of that. Financial is just one part of it, folks. This is not just about making money, and most of it is not about making money here. You have to realize that a lot of this is technology, a lot of this are other areas, and there's a lot of interesting projects going on that you, any regular human being alive today, you should be aware of, you should learn about. You shouldn't continue in life ignorant of what cryptocurrency is and what the different coins are. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here to study and what they're doing. I think you should look into that and be knowledgeable about it to understand what are the possibilities for the future, because these things will impact you. You can be ignoring it now, but in the future you're going to be bumping into cryptocurrency. It's going to come into your life, and if you don't understand what's going on and how it works, you're going to be lost. Okay, and right now, there are opportunities to get involved. A lot of people missed it. A week ago, was it a week or two ago? It had to be at least 2 weeks ago, even to a month ago. This past few weeks, as soon as the coronavirus thing started, the stock market started crashing. Right, the crypto market also. It was the greatest opportunity. If you were going into cryptocurrency or you never had gone in, and even if you were, it was the greatest buying time since. It has not gone down to that degree since then. It was the time to get stuff really cheap and to really make a big deal with it. And I took opportunity of it. I don't know. I know some others didn't, and they missed it because right now those coins did not return to those lows, and they are practically they've made money for anyone who got in when the good getting was good. At this point, almost double the money. Is one of my case studies show that those who got in when I said to get in uh, made double. They've already doubled their income, doubled the money. Now, money that you were usually or before was sitting in your pocket or sitting in a bank account doing nothing, right now became double the money. Where can you see that? In a month's time, in 2, 3 weeks? Not even with a Christmas club can you do that, okay? So again, this is the reason. This is an option. This is open for Americans. Not all the coins are open for Americans, but there are enough coins that you can get involved in that make a good. Well, you would have doubled your money with the stuff available to Americans, okay? Because the American marketplace is limited to what Americans can buy, right? It's for your own protection, and there's good reasons for that. Again, but you had buying opportunity. You could have doubled your money. You didn't do it. You missed it. Um, is there still time to get into it? Well, we're going to look at the thing now. So let's start with the first one here. It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin, we got the complete record of it here on the screen, as you can see. And you can see where the previous high, not the previous high, the all-time high, where it reached almost, it was like $493 short of $20,000 per coin. Realize that people back here, when they bought it, was a new thing, a novelty. They bought thousands of these coins. Think about that. There are billionaires today because of they brought this coin back in the day when it was nothing, and when this thing hit almost to 20,000, they became instant multi-billionaires. That's the excitement that people are talking about in the crypto market. And it's basically, and we got to be truthful here. I mean, this is Bitcoin. This is the grandfather, okay? So it's like the first thing, and it has a right to be speculative, and that's okay. It is speculative. That's its main character today. Today, it's no longer considered. We're gonna buy things with this. It's not. That's not happening. People are gonna hold on. You got Bitcoin. You're holding on for the big payday on this. Okay, so that's basically what's happening with Bitcoin. It has suffered throughout the recent years, that you see. It has suffered and made losses to that high, but really, this thing is still high from when it first got the first few years here. First few years, it was just doing 3,000, $4,000, and even that it's at right today, right now, it's about $7,000. It's still doing better than double what it was for all these people who got in. So they're doing good. They're doing all right. It's not a thing that they're losing money. All these folks, all those, not all of them, but a lot of the, how many billions did we say was the market capitalization here? The $130 billion in here. A lot of that is pretty good. It's not the only ones who are losing at this point are the guys who brought it at almost at 20,000, 19, what was that, 15,000 people were buying it, then it just dropped, it never got back up there. So the people who brought it at 15, and they're still praying, they're praying. They haven't, they brought at 15, when was that, like in 2018. They're praying that it bumps up. So these are the guys who want to see it bump up so they can at least recoup the money that they are missing. The value of their coins have been devalued as far as they're concerned. So they brought it at 15,000. But the guys who brought it early at 3,000, they're doing great. We're okay. So, as long as it doesn't go below 3,000, we're good. So, but there's a great many people who have a few coins at least who got it. Even I know a guy who got about 8 coins as a gift. It was a gift for his birthday. You come on, that was way back in the day. And now, a few coins of that is pretty nice to have. I mean, you're talking about almost 100,000, and at times it goes over the $100,000. He's good. It's good to have something that's bouncing up and down, fooling around up there in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? But in any case, that's where Bitcoin is. There is some speculation as to, or there's some thought that Bitcoin can still come down again to a 3,000 mark. It came down to that amount around December of 2018, just before 2019. And there is some thinking that it can go down. I personally think it can and would before a major rise. That's my personal thinking on that. So, but I'm saying that when it does, I mean, it looks like that if it does that again, it would look like that it should, bump up enough to make that really a worthwhile purchase. So again, that's a possibility. The only problem with it is that it's still like $3,000 a shot, 4,000, $5,000 for Bitcoin if it drops down again. And again, it's like you say, well, you can buy $100, but how much is it going to go up? What does that really mean for you? And personally, if you have $100, you can be a millionaire by the end of this year if you had $100. Well, you need more than that. You need a stimulus check to send to me. But if you had otherwise $100 in addition to that, you would be a millionaire by the end of this year by taking the course. It's not a course; it's a coaching one-on-one that I'm providing. But I'm not going to talk about that yet. Let's go on to the other coins. Now, but before we leave here, realize that if you get in at any percentage, you're dealing with percentages. If you're going to get in at a percentage of Bitcoin, realize that, how high is Bitcoin going to get? Bitcoin can keep playing around, You're talking about here 2 years already that Bitcoin's been fooling around between 10,000 and 7,000. It did once to 3,000. Again, what is the best you can hope for in the next 2 years? The best you can reasonably hope for is that it goes up to the $10,000 mark. That's really is real in reality the best that you can expect reasonably. It should go back up to 10,000 easily at some point between now 2020 and 2022. I mean, that's not unreasonable. It is very reasonable. It's very likely that it will do that. So if you're now, some people are saying it'll go up to $1 million. I've heard the other day what somebody was saying it's going to go into 150,000, 100,000. I'd say, whoa, fellow, you has to hit 50 first, you know. But anyway, I personally also have prognosticated that it will go up to 50. 50 is reasonable in the next 2 year period as well. I'm not going up to 100,000. I think that's ridiculous. But it can go to 50 under reasonable conditions within the next 2 years. But even then, if you would ask me, what is the most reasonable expectation that we could have? The most reasonable expectation is to get to the most average high, to get back to the most average high that it has been enjoying for the past couple of years. And that average high is about 10,000. Can go up to 12, can go down to 8, can bounce back up to 12, 13, do a 15 one day out of a week, 8 months from now or something like that. But the whole point is basically you're looking at Bitcoin doing a 10 for us in the next in the close future of 2 years, and that's close future is 2 years. You can pretty much expect that. So the question is, if it goes up to 10,000, how much of a percentage is that an increase to the amount of money you're going to put in? Because that's what really matters, doesn't it? In terms of what is the best thing for you to do with your money now. What's going to make more money for you? If you put into Bitcoin, the price now is at 7,102 at this recording right now. So if you're going to do Bitcoin, realize that it can only go up about 50%. 50%. So whatever, if you put in $100, you gotta understand, if you put in $100, the best that Bitcoin can reasonably do within the next 2 years is for it to go up, your money to become, from your $100 invested, it will go up to $150 at the length of about 2 years. I'm not saying it's going to take that. It can happen tomorrow. It could go up to 10,000 tomorrow. Okay, but I'm saying that the average about 10,000 comfortably between now and 2 years from now, it should reasonably should hit that mark every so often, not only once, but 3, 4, 5, 10 times or more, and be dancing around that area where you can comfortably take and sell your holdings and retrieve that $50 profit from your $100. Of course, if you invest $1,000, you'll be looking at $1,500, right? But again, it's only 50%. If you put in $10,000, you're only going to be looking at 15,000. So that's what you're looking at. Two years of it bouncing. That's reasonable, because if you're going to invest in a Bitcoin with a fantasy in your head, oh, this thing's going to shoot up. This is going to go to the moon, like they keep doing on those videos you keep watching on YouTube. this is going to go to the moon, this is going to hit big, then don't do it. I mean, again, you're being duped by the hype, which is what you should never do. You never should be investing towards any type of hype, because most of the time it doesn't happen. It'll happen one day when you're not looking, and by the time you get up from your sleep, you put on your computer and you look, duh, it happened, and it went down and you were asleep. So that's going to be the reality for most of the people in Bitcoin. Okay, that's going to be the real way it plays down. Okay, but for the rest of us sane folks, we have to deal with reality. When you get up in the morning, more or less, you're going to deal, and you should be looking at a $10,000 Bitcoin, 50% profit on what you invest in today. And that's the best way you got to look at it. Simple as that. All right. So you make your choice, you make your investment choice. Again, talk to your own financial advisor, your legal help, because I'm not providing any of that. I'm just saying, for entertainment and for content and my own perspective, is that to be reasonable when you're dealing with this type of thing, you need just to accept the bare bones of what it is you're doing, a basic expectation, understanding that Bitcoin, and this is important, Bitcoin is the only, I'll say it again, the only cryptocurrency with a right to be speculative. Okay, so here we're allowing ourselves to be speculative just with Bitcoin, because that's what's making it run. That's why it has the amount of capitalization that it has. That's why most people are putting money into it. The speculation, because what's the use of it? All right, and a lot of people can say it has a lot of uses, this and that, and people would use it, but they're not. It's simply that you've had this how many years already. There's been 6, 7 years, and what has been the case use of Bitcoin? I mean, when you start walking down the street and every sign, a sale, and you see Bitcoin sign next to it and all that, then you're talking. But right now, you don't see none of that. That's not happening. It's not yet going on. There is great amount of money in the Bitcoin, and the high that it had at almost 20,000 a coin. So it's speculation, and it has a right to be it. Simply, you and I need to recognize it for what it is: speculation. Okay. So again, when you're trying to see where to put your money so that it makes money for you, you have to understand you cannot go with all the hype and the fat. Okay. You have to go by the bare bones. And this is what it is. This is a vehicle. This vehicle looks like it's going to average around 10K for a good while. Okay. If it goes higher, wonderful. But 10K is like the best you can hope for. If it goes down to 3K, I told you so. Don't get it. Don't get panicked. It's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. It has all the right to do it. There's nothing holding it back from it happening. It doesn't matter. But where it looks like that this Bitcoin is pretty much up and down zone is that 10Ks. It's a nice area, and right now it's depressed. The price is depressed. So if you get in, which I'm gonna my what I'm thinking is I wouldn't get in at this point. If it goes down to 3 and then a little bit more 2 or 1, yeah, get in. That's what I would do. But I wouldn't do it here. Simply, and you know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because I have easier ways and faster ways of making money. That's the other point that I want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about it yet. Let me go to the other coins so you can see also what's happening with them. We have Ethereum. We'll just go in here. We don't have to go in there actually. You can look at it right here on the screen if you can. It's that little light yellow orangey color. Sorry about that. I'm trying to blow it up where you guys can get a better look at it. But obviously, right here, I'm trying to. It keeps rearranging it. If this holds, you can see the graph here on the side, hopefully. And you can see pretty much that they all look pretty much the same. Again, Tether, if you see it, Tether here has some sympathize or some empathy with where everyone else is dipping. Okay, but remember, this is a stable coin. So the difference you see is the fact that it needs to stay stable. So it pretty much does that. Again, the big shocks are replicated within the tether, but it's very minute. Actually, at all times, was around $1, give or take a few cents. Not like Bitcoin, which you're talking about, it could have been hundreds of dollars. The difference here is cents with the tether. So there is a difference, but there are similarities, right? So there you see it. XRP is another one of those coins that have a peculiar state with it. Again, XRP, there's so much hype about it in terms of, all the banks are going to do it. This is the fastest transactions cross country, this and that. Everybody, all these banks, they got to use it. I mean, it makes no sense to use anything else. All this type of hype. There are other options, and now the banks are trying to do their own type of currency again. The countries are trying to use their own currency. So the issue, those claims that this will be the it coin for making these types of transactions is still an iffy thing. But in any case, it doesn't mean anything. I've always been laughing at the XRP promoters because they make it seem that because everyone, even if everyone on the planet, let me show you an example. You guys are going to laugh at this, but it's actually the facts. If everyone on the planet used XRP, that doesn't make any evidence or does not cause XRP to become $1 million coin. It makes no sense. And the case example, there's actually an actual example of my point, which is the cable wire. Remember cable back in the day? When cable TV started, I know that most of these guys investing in XRP were either not yet born or they were just still too young to even know this. But when I'm older, so I remember when cable started up. There was no cable TV before. And they started doing this thing from California, from out west, this cable TV, HBO. When HBO first started, I remember that. Okay, that's how far back I go. The whole investment world was aglow with the price of copper. The copper used in the cable that brings TV to people's houses. There were investment companies and investments just singling out this fact that every house had to be connected. Everyone's going to get connected. Everyone had to get the cable TV. This was the new thing to happen. So people were getting investing into it. This is everyone's going to use it. Everyone's going to use it. And you know what happened? Everyone used it. But the copper wire never became anything. The price of copper was always the price of copper. Then the technology changed. And then what happened? You see, so even if you have a coin that everybody and their uncle and grandmother, they have to use it, it does not mean that the coin's going to be worth $1 million. That's the error that these guys keep making. They made the error. I understand why, because they were too young or non-existent when the previous era of the new thing that everyone had to use came along and died off. I come from that era, so I understand. I know that. I started hearing this. Everybody's gonna use it. This is something everybody's gonna use, and I just look at all those telephone wires. You remember that? The telephone booth. That was another investment thing. The telephone booth, and then the telephone wire. All the streets full of telephone wire, telephone. And now look at it. You guys, you haven't lived long enough. I know. So XRP is like all these young folk that haven't lived long enough to realize that everybody needing something or using something does not equate to gold. If you think about it, does anyone have really gold that they're using gold on a day to day? They don't do that. See? So you got to understand, investments, they have a different character, slightly different. So there's a nuance to it. So you have to be careful about that. And what I notice in the XRP is that they really, they make it too, they have made so much information, so much, case usage or use cases that everyone's going to be using, everyone, that they really just burnt out the need for this coin to increase in value. It's really the XRP itself is going to be used like copper wire. It doesn't need to be $1 million for it to be used for what it's going to be used for. So at this point, they have nothing else except they're trying to make it speculative. But bingo, Bitcoin is the only speculative coin that has a right to be. And everything else is like, trying to grasp, ignite with whatever vapors are left over in the cryptocurrency world. And I'm telling you, there's thousands of cryptocurrencies. So they're trying to light a match, and it's a well ventilated room. You understand what I'm trying to say. Okay, so but with that, I'm not trying to say that XRP can't go. So let's go to XRP for the reason that it's relatively cheap. If you were looking into where to put your $1,200 and you're looking into crypto and you wanted something, it's too late for you at 1,200 in Bitcoin, it's like, it's not going to do much relatively soon. Where you want to put your money if you're looking at crypto is you need to put it in to see, there's a time limit here. I noticed, so I just noticed that it went off. So there's a time limit. You gotta. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the time limit for that. There is, a limit to how much Bitcoin will help you if you don't have a lot of Bitcoins. Simple. Now, but if you had a coin that didn't cost a lot of money, then of course you can have a lot of these coins, and when it goes up, then you'll make a lot of money. Like Bitcoin, if you had gotten it when it was 18 cents, believe it or not, it was 19. It was lower than that at certain times in the beginning. You could have loaded up on Bitcoin like you can load up now on XRP, for example, and just dream. Everyone's there praying, they're fasting to God, they're praying, they're sacrificing children, they're making sacrifices on the altar of XRP so that it can go and blast off to the moon. Okay, so basically they wanted to go up in value. I don't think I have my. Oh, I do have it here. I'm sorry if someone was trying to say something. I completely ignored you. Good evening, guys. I see some messages there. So listen. So again, that's what they're doing. They're hoping and praying for the XRP to go to the moon. Now, to give them and us a reprieve, I mean, this thing is only 19 cents, to be honest. I mean, if you see all of the things they're talking about um, in the community, you see um, all of the facts and the news about XRP. You would think and you should expect that XRP should be more weightier in terms of price. And you see the health here is given as an A. Very good. As like I said, there's a lot going in favor for XRP. It's not it's the cable wire of the cable TV times. But honestly speaking, it really shouldn't be at 19 cents either. Okay, so I'm not saying that's going to be $1 million. It's going to be ridiculous. Anything, but it getting into a normal range of that a coin of its caliber and use case should have. So what should that be? Basically, you can see however, that XRP has a very it's not steady, but it isn't that crazy bump you see in Bitcoin, right? And then the drop. You don't see that with XRP. What you see is some hops and skips, up and downs, but nothing drastic. So if you carry this out in a few years, you see the difference within a few years here. This is, again, something that you need to just consider that it has some steady upward growth, even though it's rocky. It tends to be climbing and climbing, at least with this factorization here. And it's given overall a grade of B minus, which is not too shoddy for the cryptocurrency world. You have to understand that's a very nice rating. Again, most of your currencies are C minus and below. Okay, but this has a B minus grade, which makes it pretty decent coin. All right, so basically, what should you expect from XRP? So let's go into the chart and let's just again XRP. I'm gonna have to give it a smaller time frame. Let's go to 1 year, and we can see that in this year of turmoil, it has steadily gone down. But it had its last high at around 46 cents. Right now it's 19 cents. I believe during the virus onslaught, it came down, if I'm not mistaken, it should be here. 13, was it? 15, 14, right around here. 14. So it was just around 14. I'm pretty sure it dipped down to 13, at least for one candle. But anyway, it was doing 13 and 14 at its lowest here in the year. And that was just about March 15 when things started going south all over the place. So at that point, if you were getting into XRP, that was the time to get in. Okay. So, right, where are we now? We're pretty much still at, again, it's showing at 18, 17. I mean, the difference is very slight. If you got the money to do this, then obviously it's something that you want to look into. Why? Because simply within the past year, 12 months, it had the capacity of reaching 46 cents. Okay, so and let's see the all-time high. The all-time high, I believe, was $4. You see, it has that big spike here. The all-time high, I believe, came up to $4. It was $4 up here, and I can't get my thing up there, but say my cursor to hit that all the way. Does it have the old time here? Let's see. Usually it has it in a listing, but I don't see it here. So the all-time high, I think it was $4. It definitely has the potential. No reason why it can't do $4. But again, I believe that's when it's all matured. That's when all the cables are connected. Everyone in the world is connected. When that happens, I see no reason why it shouldn't go up to $4. Frankly, that not $1 million, not 100,000. I think that's all baloney. That's like really, you have to wait for master inflation, and maybe about 150 years or something like that, maybe. But right now, the best that you can hope for on the long term is $4, $3 to $4 that it go up again. If it goes up that high, it's going to go further. So that I agree with. But again, that's a long term thing. In the short term, what should be you be looking at? I would be looking at 40 cents, even 30 cents. So what personally 40 cents in the short term. Again, within the 2 years that we were talking about, with the Bitcoin staying around 10K or bouncing up and down. Of course, when Bitcoin goes up to 50, XRP is going to go up too. It's probably do the $3, then maybe the $4, maybe a little bit more. I mean, that's a good thing to happen, but nothing more than you can't be looking at imagining it to go any higher than that at all, at all. So right now, in terms of anyone considering getting into some XRP, I would be looking at it doing a 40, before taking out your money, short term, just to make more money from what you have now. And that's basically about double, again, still doubling. At least you're doing better than you did with the 10K in BTC, because you're only halving it, right? You're only 50%. With the XRP, you'll be able to do 100%, double your money with XRP. If it goes up, if and when it goes up to the 40s, maybe if Bitcoin shoots way up, you could get probably a tripling of the money, possibly, but we're only talking about 60 cents, right? That's all we talk about. The price of XRP, 60 cents. Like I said, on a longer term, you can wait for a $3 some way down before you die. If you're like me, I wouldn't be waiting for that again, because there's faster ways of making big money without waiting for XRP to do something. It's like waiting for someone with erectile dysfunction, and you're tickling them and seeing if it does anything. That's basically what's going on with XRP. Bitcoin is a little bit more movement, but you don't have enough. You don't have what it takes to make it work for you in that sense. Okay, so that is a reality. That's a reality we have to look at. This thing's not holding on for long term. There, so I have to see how I can make something stay on for longer. Time period could be that it's the pause is set to stop. So it stops transcribing if I pause too long. So that's probably the reason that happens. So I'll look into that as well in a after I'm finished here. So okay. So again, just taking these two as the example, the question becomes, where should you put your money that makes more sense? I mean, where are you going to make more money? I'm going to tell you really right now. The reason why I have this bearish or a little negative outlook on these coins, on any of them, including Bitcoin, is simply because you can make more money faster outside of cryptocurrency. Now, I don't. People always have a fear of missing out, the FOMO. So I'm not trying to like tell you don't give up on crypto, forget it. But I don't want you to do that if you're feeling that hey, that's something you really want to do. Truthfully, I'm involved. I'm in it, so I have money there. But I'm not waiting on that at all. And the people that I counsel, that I help and advise, who have significant crypto earnings and Bitcoin, I'm always teaching them, I give them the advice of leveraging. And what does that mean? It means that put some of that money, instead of having it waiting for the payday, the big day that you all will miss. Because it's not a day, it's going to be a few seconds. Okay? And if you're living life, you're doing other things. When Bitcoin shoots up, you'll be distracted doing something else or wanting to impeach 45. But in any case, you're going to miss the wagon when it happens. The thing is this. I teach my students to leverage. Take a part of that money and put it into another investment area, which is typically real estate. And that's sound counsel. You can go ask your lawyer, ask your CPA, ask your financial advisor. I mean, they're going to tell you, you should just get a house and put your money in some property, and you get all these benefits and tax breaks and what. I mean, they can't tell you that with crypto. Crypto is like, what are you waiting for? Again, you have to realize this. So I always teach my students to leverage, means to put some money, have enough in it to get your double, to get your 50% profit when it happens. But realize this, in a year with the program here, I mean, there's nothing to see here, just a payment. This is a payment link. You're going to pay me to coach you in my exclusive, once in a lifetime opportunity to guide you by the hand and walk you through a few real estate deals. And you'll be a millionaire by the end of the year. You do everything I tell you, you put it into action. It's all on your reference, so don't look at me. You have to do the work. I'm going to tell you exactly what you have to do. It's exactly what I'm doing. There's nothing that I'm telling you to do that I'm not doing myself. I'm doing it myself. Simply, the guys who's already started doing this, they have got a head start on you guys. So again, these are things that are being done. They're working it, and the fact is that they'll be making more money. They will be making $1 million while these guys here are dealing with a 40-cent XRP. If you're talking about just doubling your money, if XRP goes to 40 cents, if Bitcoin goes up to the back up to 10K, which will happen eventually, you're only looking at 50% profit. You're only looking at 50% profit. For that $1,500 that you expect you're holding on to dear life for in Bitcoin, you can take that $1,500 and I will help you in a matter of a month, 2 months, 3 months top. 3 months top. Turn that $1,500 into $15,000. How much Bitcoin will that buy for you? In a month, in 2 months, in 3. How much would that buy Bitcoin for you? You can at least buy a Bitcoin when before you couldn't even buy one. In 2 months' time, I bet you can't do that in Bitcoin. If you put that money in Bitcoin or any of the cryptos, you most likely will not be able to match that anyplace. None of the people in Bitcoin can match it. They haven't been able to match it from day one. Okay. Well, not from day one. After it had a spike, it had a spike. That was pretty good, you guys, right? But after that, no one's been able to do that. Listen, you can take, if you have, after you pay me and you have just $30 a month to play with, you'll be a millionaire by the end of the year. Simple as that. Can you put $30 a month into XRP or into Bitcoin and duplicate that? You feel good about that? So again, like I said, This thing is about leveraging. If you want to get into crypto, that's fine. I'm in crypto. I wanted to get in crypto. The thing went down the tubes. I got in. I got on that train. I got in. Okay. If it goes back down and you got some ducats, you want to jump in, jump in. But what I'm saying that if you are looking for a big payday, you can do what I'm teaching you, and in 12 months you'll see your big payday before Bitcoin will ever make it. There's this guy that says that in 2 years, a well-respected professional and analyst in Bitcoin and crypto, he he is prognosticating that in 2 years' time you're going to see $150,000 price on Bitcoin. Okay, $150,000 price in Bitcoin. Now, in 1 year, you can make $1,000,000, $1,200,000 in my program. Yeah. Okay, and that's only with $30, $35 a month, starting out with that. After you pay me, of course. But with $30 a month, you can hold on to enough profit. I'm going to show you how to do that and make mad money. I'm going to show you how to do that. This is really easy. And then at the end of the year, before Bitcoin becomes 150,000, you'll have 1,000,000. By that time, it could be at the highest, maybe $50,000 Bitcoin, maybe at the highest. And again, it more likely will be around the tens, like we've been seeing, like we saw before. So let's just say it was around the 50,000. How much Bitcoin can you buy? You understand that? You can buy 10, 15 Bitcoins. Even if the Bitcoin was 10,000, you can be buying what, 120? Am I right? 120 Bitcoins? Come on now. And then when that thing hits 150, like these guys are saying, okay? So, yeah, then you can do it. See how you quickly start hopping and skipping when you do the right thing. But you have to use your brain. You have to do the right thing. Right? Get into this program now. It's limited. It's only a few properties out there left, and that I've already identified that can be used for this project. And you guys simply have to stop wasting time and start doing this. Simply, it'll make it fantastic for you, and leverage the crypto. Go ahead, do the XRP, do the Bitcoin. There's other coins also that have great promise that can go up, a few 100%. That'll really make you happy. Even more than your Bitcoin, because Bitcoin will go up what? If it goes up to $150,000 in 2 years, you're talking, let's use the 10, the 10 thing. You're looking at, what is that? Like, is that what? It's not 1,500%, more or less, or 1,000% increase, right? Okay. So again, but if you're looking at a smaller coin, that you can have a whole bunch of coins, thousands of coins in XRP and some of the other small value coins right now, and those things can jump like 10,000%. These things can just go boom right through the roof once a major development happens, and a lot of things happen good at that same moment. The planets align, right? So yeah, because since you're going into speculation, you might as well go into speculation. Yeah, that can always happen, and at least you'll have your hands in it. You'll have something to show from your crypto end. But it's like I said, you don't need crypto. If you do this, what do you need crypto for? You don't need it. Simply dollars. So you know where that thing came from. That thing came from the stimulus check. So they're already depositing their stimulus checks into these cryptos, and basically they're sinking it in. They're freezing it there when they can do so much better with it not there. Better outside than inside for the time being. And even just part of it. Just part of it. You want to be in crypto, buy some, but then take the rest and do a better thing, which is what we're teaching here. And once you get the facts on this and you get the info, you're going to be happy you did. We're going to help you through each step of the way, and we're going to make it work for you. And you'll be a millionaire by the end of the year. Now, there is another option. I didn't talk about this in my previous broadcast, but I'll mention it now. There's another option you can do with this that doesn't give you the $1 million at the end of the year. What it does is allows you to produce $30,000 per year and per property. That's a different route that some of the members in the group are doing. They're opting to do that. What does that do? Is that it produces an income for you that you can go and put into your cryptocurrency if that's what you choose to do. So some people are opting for the income and they're holding on like they do with their Bitcoin. They're holding on to what I'm showing them how to do here, and they're keeping those as an income producers for life. So that's another option. Because of course, once you sell it, you're pretty much done with those properties. You'll have to rinse and repeat, as we say, to keep making more money. But if you hold on, you can just generate income from the properties at about 30,000 each one that you hold, and that, I mean, 30,000 is better than any of these cryptocurrencies are doing for anybody right now. So think about it. So that's even a better option if you want steady income for the rest of your life instead of waiting for the $1 million day for Bitcoin to hit a million or whatever it is you're waiting for. Then have our program. You can work it and set it so that it produces 30,000 each property for you for the rest of your life. Period. Done deal. That's it. And so either option, and you can do both options. You can take some of your properties and flip them over and go towards the $1 million. You can do that. So that's the great thing, because all you really need is one property to become a millionaire. You don't need to have, just have a set number like that, multiples. You can always have a few dedicated to one thing, long-term income, and the others so that you can flip. It'll just delay the third wave. I call it the third wave because when you get to the second wave, it sets up the $1 million mark. Okay, so we have it that it sets up the $1 million mark on the third wave, and all it does, it makes it just a smaller wave, the first wave, and then a slightly bigger normal wave on the second, and then the third wave, it starts to get you nearer to the million, and probably the fourth wave then, or the fourth flip. They're flips. The fourth one is where you really break through the $1 million cap if you're doing it that way. But in either case, you're talking about a year to a year and a half by doing that, and you don't know where Bitcoin is going to be. You don't know where XRP is going to be or any other of the coins. Then again, like I said, I gave you the reasonable thing to expect. Now, within the reasonable thing, if that's not enough money for you, 50%, 100%, that's the reasonable amount, then this is the way to go. Simple. So send your payment here right now. The more time you waste, the more expensive, not my program will be, but to do what I'm telling you to do, that you have to do, it will become more expensive because the other kids, I say kids, that's the teacher in me. The other students that we have, they're already going and buying properties, and so am I. So there's a set number of properties. It's a limited amount of properties, And I haven't decided to subdivide my larger tracts so that you guys, latecomers, can have the same opportunity. I'm still thinking on that because I have plans for the larger tracts. But I may do that. I don't know. I'll see. Right now, there's still inventory available. You need to start doing this quickly because the other guys, once they go into their second wave, they're going to run out of stuff. They're going to run out of stuff at the low price. There's always stuff at a higher price, but again, your profit margin starts to reduce, right? They're higher price, and then but like I said, right now, if money is an issue for you, right now you have a great opportunity to hold on to thousands of dollars worth of property with just $30 a month, right around there, 39, 30, sometimes 25. We'll see. You may get lucky and get something for $25, and you hold on to thousands of dollars worth of profit. That's really big. It's really big, but it's not going to last for a long time. So you really need to get on this right away. And like I said, this is things that we're doing. I don't need your money. It's just not an issue of me needing your money. It's an issue of you paying for valuable information. Simple, because this is just one of 50 things, one of 50 plus strategies that I'm teaching in my $10,000 real estate seminar, which is also limited. I'm only giving it one time. That's it. It's not an issue for me. I don't need that to make the money. You have to understand. And this I'm just doing to help a few people out. So again, simply if you see the reason in this, then you have an opportunity to get into something and make something happen for you. This is also doable all over the world, by the way. Little different in other countries. Again, the money thing is different there, but the same idea pretty much can be done in most other countries. Basically, you're looking at 10 times the value of a property being increased. Obviously, that's your profit margin. So I can pretty much take students from all over the world. But this for an American here in the US, oh my. This is like the way to go. It's really a wonderful thing. I'm giving it to you guys. And all I'm saying is pay for my time and my genius. And I'm going to be helping you, taking you by the hand, making sure you do what you're supposed to do and make you move quick and make it happen for you. So that's what you're getting. It's well worth it. I'm going to make you and your family wealthy. I think the $1,200 that you're getting from your stimulus for free from the government, send it to me and let's work together. You will do the work. I'm going to be teaching you what to do. And it's up to you to get everything done. And again, I'll be showing you the ropes. It's easy. It's not a hard thing. It's things that are being done. It's just the little exclusive things. And the things that make it worth so much is the stuff that I'm giving to you. And that's included here in that price. So you're not going to have to spend more money. You don't have to build a tower on the property or anything like that. It's just, again, just controlling the real estate and doing what I'm telling you to do, and that's all you have to do. Okay, so again, do this, get this thing going. If you're into the crypto, again, you can leverage. This is the best thing, and this is the advice I'm giving all the crypto guys. I've been doing this for a couple of months already. All my students in the crypto programs that we have, I've been telling them that leveraging is the fastest way to make money. Don't wait for Bitcoin. Don't wait for XOP. Don't wait for any of the cryptos. Use the cryptos. Be involved in the cryptos, but leverage and make massive amounts of money faster. And always have your foot in crypto, because when it goes up, you want to take that ride. Out of water, and I need to drink something, so I'm dry already. Thanks for watching, and I see you guys in my next broadcast. And again, moving on this now. Time is running out, and properties are going fast. Take care and see you soon.